Now, I don't know if anyone here has actually had to make a claim. Has anyone, Julie?
No, none of us have done that, but remember, we had a tornado. And so the insurance had to cough up for that, less the deductible, of which, when we then had the campaign for tornado relief, we came within $3,000 of covering a deductible, so that was good. So ARS was only out of pocket $3,000 for all the damage. Our underwriter told me that nationally, many of the small hobby clubs, not just horde clubs, were going to face a rise in the cost of insurance because of all the storms on the East Coast and in the North. Terrible, terrible, terrible liability damage with roof collapsing, buildings collapsing, people being killed because of the storm. And so we at ARS, we told you in a letter that we were really sorry we couldn't find it any cheaper to cover what needed to be covered. But if you didn't want to take it, that was fine. Find it some other way. It's not going to harm ARS if you don't take the ARS insurance. What our underwriter has done for us is made a, not a deal, but a handshake. They are charging ARS for 100% of the societies taking the insurance, and then at the end of February, which is now passed, those societies that did not take it will be removed from that list, and any monies collected from ARS for those societies for the insurance would be refunded. So it's not going to hurt ARS if you don't bite because of the rise. But I do know that Garden Club also went up a little bit. The toys and trains people went up a little bit. I have personal friends in that. So it was the smallest rise that they could eke out, and that was it. But the big stuff is the liability from storm damage. It's just been horrific last year. Personal claims were minor. I mean, somebody stumbled in a parking lot and broke their leg. That kind of stuff, so.
Jolene, I'm missing the point. Storm damage, what is that like? You know, we rent out a hallway basically, and the main thing we concern is somebody trips and then sues us for personal injury. I'm not quite sure why.
What John is saying is personal injury is what our clubs are interested in. If we're having a meeting somewhere or a conference or a picnic or etc., that's generally what would happen. But for ARS, it's property damage. And we're on the same policy that you guys are on. We are the entity, we're the mother entity that is being insured, and you are being covered by our insurance because you belong to ARS. It's a legal thing.
So there's no way that there could be a separate
No way they can be separate. If they were separate, your personal injury insurance would skyrocket.
Jolene, what most people are interested in is what is our deductible. We have something from our meetings, somebody injured at the meetings. I know ARS has a $10,000 deductible. Does that apply to us as well?
No. If you take the insurance, you should get a piece of paper from Laura explaining what the deductible is, etc. And if you didn't get it, just email her and ask her for it.
Okay, so it's less than
Yeah, it's not $10,000. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and we just got our certificate, but I have to confess I didn't read it to see what the deductible would be. I do know that for North Bay Rose Society, which is my home society, we're a chapter, so we expect everyone to be an ARS member. They're signed up as an ARS member when they join our society. So historically, we've kept our dues very, very low. We're going to be increasing our dues because of this, because For, the $5 takes half of an individual's dues. $10 for a couple takes almost the entire amount of our dues. So we're going to be doing a dues increase. Just how it is. I think someone in Mount Diablo looked around for some outside and other insurance and couldn't come up with anything better. So it's unfortunate, but kind of how it is. So, Jan.
I'm treasurer from Diablo, and I would like to make a request that ARS going forward advises of insurance rates in November for the coming year. I've been involved with several clubs and with my own personal insurance, and I always know what my rates are for the policy period. It's very hard when you get your rates January 14th and you've already had your regular meeting January 8th. And I think this needs to be addressed.
It's a very good point. Thank you, Janice. And I will take that to the board and our executive director. What else? Anything else on the insurance? I know it was quite a surprise. The cost was really quite a surprise. Homeowners insurance does not cover this.
Explain this, please.
Okay, I got a phone call from a member of a local society, and they said they're a very small society, and they meet at board members' houses. They have 4 meetings a year, and they didn't think they needed insurance. Their homeowners would take care of it. So I called AAA, which is one of the largest home insurance companies in our country, and they said, absolutely not. They do not cover a social meeting, an organizational meeting held in your home. They will cover your party, your wedding reception, your drunk Uncle Alex, and Roger, your nephew who ran over your roast bed with his dual-wheel pickup truck. But if you're having meetings of a formal organization, one with bylaws and their own treasury and etc., no. And they will nitpick you to death on this. You can try to disguise it, but generally they'll find out. Because if Mary Alice McGregor falls down in your driveway and gets scratched up by your rose bushes, and she's going to file a claim and says, well, I went to the meeting at her house. Bingo.
Well, I'm coming this time.
Go for it.
So we have a rose tour where we go to 5 different gardens, and we are assuming that's going to be covered as an event because we put those gardens and their addresses on the certificate of insurance with ARS. So I want to check that's covered.
Yes. Yes, if you put it and got the certificate from ARS, it is covered. If you're doing it as a local society and you are with the ARS insurance or with anybody else's insurance, and you provide the certificate of insurance for that, yes, you're covered. We're talking about your homeowner's policy. Some people get confused about homeowner's insurance, what it actually covers. And if you look at homeowner's insurance, if you look at homeowner's insurance, it'll say it covers your dwelling, it covers your car, it covers your furniture, it covers your, and then casual liability for injury. If your uncle falls down from the dining room table, too much wine, you know how it is. But part of what I said before, organized meetings, no. Okay, Janae, you want to say something?
Yes, we have a rose garden at Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds. And even though the fairgrounds carries full coverage of anything that goes on the ground at any given time, I still file that insurance claim for
You heard that? She wants to be sure, so she files for that certificate, no matter who tells you they've got insurance. Yes, Rose?
I would like to confirm that if you have, let's say, a board meeting at a person's home, that ARS insurance will cover that.
The ARS insurance is not going to cover your board meeting held at someone's home unless you apply for a certificate. And what is that, $10 a pop? Just don't let your board have an accident.
So they have to look at that every month.
You should if you were rigorous about it. Now, quite frankly, I have never done that, and I've had a lot of board meetings at my house. And as long as I'm confessing, I've also had CR schools at my house and arrangement seminars, etc. Luckily, nobody has gotten hurt or filed against my insurance. But if they ever did, I'd be in trouble.
Rose, I think if you have your board, and you can correct me, if you have your board meeting at the same place every month, as long as when you fill your insurance paper out and have that address.
Now what Sue is saying, if you're insured and you have that board meeting at your house every single month, and you have declared that on your insurance policy, then you're covered by that insurance policy. Now, did you do that for your homeowner's insurance? No.
You paid an extra $10.
And we'd adjust that for our local society when we file for a certificate and we list it because we meet, our board meetings and our general meetings are at the same place. So we, and our road show, and we just listed them, you know, just all those dates out. And we got one certificate. So they were okay with that. Other questions or comments on this insurance? John?
So did I catch that right? They let you have the meetings and where you actually have the roadshow under the same certificate?
Well, we have it in the same place.
Oh, it's the same place, but if it's a different venue, it has
If it
to
was
be.
a different venue, you would need a different certificate.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
So what if, you know, your Rose Society as a group has a field trip to some other public garden?
You may want to get a certificate for that and list where you're going to be going. It depends on how cautious you are and how graceful your people are. Right?
They have to be limber.
I mean, Grace is not my middle name.